Well, ladies and gentlemen, I feel as though Walmart may be cursed, or at least maybe I'm cursed when it comes to my experiences and visiting Walmart locations in different branches, because I was sitting in a Walmart parking lot just a few minutes ago and I had a conversation with my CPA. And it was a quick call, and she was just checking in to make sure that I had everything ready to go and compiled to send over to get 2022 taxes complete, get them processed, and at the end of the day, make my payment to the IRS. Because as a non W-2, non traditional employee, being self employed, business owner. Remember, folks, the right side of the cash flow quadrant, business owners and investors. I don't get a traditional paycheck, so there are no taxes taken out of the income that I receive. Therefore, when I file my taxes, when I complete my financial for the year and then file taxes, ultimately we then determine how much to pay the IRS. Which, with that being said, folks, is a strategy and planning and preparation to make sure that number is not too high. Because, we do make substantial amounts of money through the work that we do, through the variety of diverse and multiple income streams, some of which being passive income streams. But the key is to end the year as often as possible every year with as little profit as possible. Therefore, that is your taxable earned amount, your adjusted gross income. So this can be accomplished in a variety of ways through donations, charitable donations, reinvestments into the business, into your companies, paying employees, paying workers, paying contractors, and investing in a variety of different ways, and leveraging debt. That's the other thing. So we can talk about that more in another video. If you guys are interested, just drop a comment, let me know. But in this particular phone call, I was reminded about 2021. So 2021 was actually kind of interesting. It was actually 2021, because what we ended up doing was we ended up filing an amended tax return, which, as I told you, every year when we complete our taxes, we ultimately end up paying the IRS what we end up owing them for the income that we earn. And we did. No problem there whatsoever. But through some changes to the businesses, through some changes to the tax codes, through some changes because of the opportunities presented by way of the CARES Act, we saw an opportunity to recoup some of that taxed income. So we filed an amended return. But that amended return had to be filed by mail. They didn't allow you to file it electronically or do an e-file. Okay, no problem. That amended return generated a recalculation, ultimately a refund due and owed to us. No big deal. The sum approximately $10,000. So my CPA, my tax preparer, she says it's filed, it's paper. Although there's so many of these new IRS agents, it's going to take a while. Don't hold your breath. You'll get your money at some point in time. I said, no big deal. Not worried about it. When it shows up, we'll be surprised when it shows up. We'll put it somewhere. Doesn't matter. Well, ironically, she tells me they sent your check, which I think is like sooner than I expected it. Actually, I forgot it was even coming, but she said they sent your check. Well, folks, as I'm sitting in the Walmart parking lot getting this terrific news, it was then immediately followed up with some bad news. They don't have an address for you, so they sent it back. Well, what the hell? Well, guys, I guess this is a situation of practice what you preach, because if you are familiar with the channel, you'll know that we moved last year from Georgia to Florida. And in doing that, it didn't update the address for the IRS. The paper return, the amended paper return, had the old address on it, which we don't live at anymore. But I knew that the address would be updated because when we filed taxes this year for 2022, it would have updated the address with the filing. But we haven't filed yet. And they sent the check already, which I wasn't really planning on it showing up anytime soon. So I wasn't in any hurry to contact the IRS to update my address. And as I'm sitting in the Walmart parking lot, I get the terrible news that the check has been returned. And not only has the check returned, but the IRS returned the amended return. So now what we have to do is, one, update the address, and two, refile the amended return. But the beauty of it is now they accept an e-file amended return. So we'll do an e-file amended return, and then they will direct deposit the funds because it was an e-file. I can't make this stuff up, folks. Because it was a paper amended return, they don't do a direct deposit. So this is what I've been told. I'm not a tax professional. This is why I outsource. This is why I hire somebody, because it really makes my brain hurt. But that's where we stand. Sitting in the parking lot of Walmart, which was bad enough as it was. I had to go in there to get something. I don't even remember what it was. But at the same time, as I'm sitting there, I'm getting this news like, hey, your $10,000 check was cut, but they don't have an address for you, so they send it back, and we got to start all over again. Go figure. Could be worse, right? It absolutely could be worse. Blackstone blocked investor withdrawals from $71 billion REIT last month. For those who are not aware, a REIT is a real estate investment trust. And it says here, according to Reuters, that on March 1, which was yesterday, I believe, Blackstone Incorporated, BX.N, said on Wednesday it had blocked investors from cashing out their investments at its $71 billion real estate investment income trust, BREIT, as the private equity firm continues to grapple with a flurry of redemption requests. BREIT said it fulfilled redemption requests for $1.4 billion in February, which represents only 35% of the approximately $3.9 billion in total withdrawal requests for the month, according to the firm in letters to investors. The total BREIT redemption requests in February were 26% lower than the approximately $5.3 billion reached in January, and the firm says that, Credit Suisse analysts say, while gross redemptions for February are consistent with prior management commentary, the overreaching data continue to align with our view around decelerating retail-oriented product organic growth broadly. And Credit Suisse downgraded its rating of Blackstone's stock to underperform in November, partly because of the rise in investor redemptions from BREIT. Blackstone's shares were down 0.25% at $90.57 per share in afternoon trading on Wednesday, and the stock lost 43% of its value last year. Blackstone has been exercising its rights to block investors' withdrawals since November last year, after requests hit a preset 5% net asset value of BREIT, which is marketed to mostly high net worth individuals. Now, this information, folks, is alarming, and it was shared with me by Bupe, our good friend in Zambia, Africa. She is doing a fantastic job of scouring the internet and finding all this important information that matters to everyone, really, around the world, because this ties in directly to exactly what I just described to you and what I experienced of having an interruption in having access to receiving the funds that are due to me, this $10,000, while I'm sitting in this Walmart parking lot. Although I have a relatively simple and easy way of redoing the process and the paperwork to get the funds facilitated and sent and processed and deposited into my account. One of my accounts, obviously I'm not putting it in a Wells Fargo account. Well, don't want that to happen. And I'm not going to put it in a PNC bank account either, because more PNC banks are closing and more Wells Fargo banks are closing, which I just received that update. And I just received that update a short while ago. So I will update you guys on that in a future video, because there's more banks closing, and that's not good. But Bupe shared that Blackstone is a private investment banking company and has blocked investors' cash out requests. And Blackstone, founded in 1985, making it almost 40 years in operation, would lead you to believe that they are a relatively stable company that isn't financially in trouble. But me personally, I would be a little worried if my withdrawal request, if my cash out request was delayed. As of January this year, Blackstone Real Estate Income Trust has had a surge in cash out requests, which has put the company in the position to block further requests by investors to cash out. Now, if you guys happen to watch my video I posted late last night, early this morning, about Robinhood. So Robinhood has this is an investment brokerage app, and they have this Robinhood Gold opportunity that you can use your uninvested cash to earn a 4.15% APY, which is 18 times asterisk the national average. However, in doing so, this puts your money on the exchange. It puts it on their platform. Therefore, if you were in a situation where you wanted to cash out, they could theoretically deny you, which is slightly different from the situation that I experienced with the IRS and the missing $10,000 check, and sitting in the Walmart parking lot just scratching my head about what is going on with the IRS and all these new militia IRS agents with AR-15 rifles. Crazy stuff. I have a simple and easy way of getting this problem solved, getting it corrected, getting my money. With Blackstone, it's not quite the same. So these blocked requests for withdrawals and cash outs are concerning and alarming, and for some, possibly detrimental, as they really, really need that money and they can't afford to wait to be able to receive it, if and when that will happen. So this is a warning. This is a heads up. This is an advisory update, because this can happen. And we can see this happening more with the liquidity crises that are plaguing the industry worldwide. And this has a direct relation to real estate, home values, investors, consumers, the bankers, central banks, the future of dollars, whichever currency it may be, as every country is moving towards a CBDC. The $71 billion trust has been hit with cash out requests because of the housing market, which has been coming down due to inflation and hikes in the interest rates. With these investors, or will these investors be allowed to take out their investment, or will this end up a lose-lose situation? That's a good question. I'm going to put a pin in that. I'm going to monitor this. I'm going to track it. But just to provide some clarity on this, actually came across a story where this had occurred to someone by the name of Graham Stephan, and he actually created a video and he posted it on his channel about why he was leaving Robinhood and switching to another investment app, another investment brokerage app. Side note, folks, there's a link in the description down below if you want your free stocks from Moo. Go ahead and take that free money while you can. Go ahead and get it. As well as other links down there for diversifying your portfolio, and most importantly, investing in hard assets, folks. I'm not telling you what to do. This is not financial advice. I'm just saying I want to maintain my 3 fundamental pillars, values for 2023 and moving forward is diversity, security, and cash flow. That's all I'm going to say. Choice is yours, whatever you want to do or don't do. But we've seen what happens or has happened in the past from folks who have procrastinated and delayed and missed the boat, have been negatively impacted severely by inflation, this looming recession. We're on the brink of a recession, and savings and 401ks and IRAs are being wiped out, depleted rapidly. There's got to be a plan in place. Hope is not a plan. A goal is nothing more than a dream or a wish without a plan and a strategy to execute to make sure it happens, okay? But Graham Stephan posted this video about Robinhood. Please don't quote me on this. I'm recalling it from memory. I watch a lot of YouTube. I watch a lot of videos. I do a lot of research. I cover a lot of stories, a lot of which about finance and investing, saving money, making money, building wealth, building businesses, growing portfolios, becoming financially stable, creating YouTube channels, monetizing YouTube channels in a variety of different ways of making several dollars to several hundreds of dollars to even several thousands of dollars a day for those who are interested. Contact me. Links in the description. Join me on Patreon. Join the network. So, will these investors be allowed to take out their investment, or will it end up a lose-lose situation? So Graham Stephan has said at one point he received a notification from Robinhood that stated that he was unable to make any further deposits to the exchange, which was kind of interesting, kind of odd. He didn't really think anything of it. And then he received a notification that he was unable, and this is all based on, I think, the volume, the size of his portfolio. You know, Graham's got a lot of money, okay? So, and I've been watching Graham for quite a while. I don't watch it like every day, but I've been watching this channel for quite a while. And for all those who kind of like dog the creators who have achieved success, especially those who then try to offer their expertise and their knowledge and wisdom and experiences to others through way of courses or training or private coaching or counseling or mentorship or anything, whatever it may be, I don't get down with that, okay? Plain and simple, unpopular truth is the reason why most people don't achieve success is because, one, they don't think they can, two, they don't try, and three, they have some sort of anger and animosity towards those who have already achieved it, and I don't understand it. I don't get it. It's almost like they just want to stay broke, stay poor, everyone else around them to be the same, and anyone else who has more than them to lose it all and be poor like them. I don't get it. Socialist Marxism. I don't get it. But ironically, after he received this notification, he received a notification that said that he was unable to withdraw from the exchange. So basically, any money he had on the platform, on the exchange, couldn't be taken off, and any money he wanted to put on couldn't be added to. So it was just locked in limbo. He could initiate trades on the exchange, but he was unable to remove his money off the exchange. And this is tied into what I told you guys late last night or early this morning, depending on when you saw the video, about Robinhood Gold and their 4.15% APY for uninvested cash. Granted, there's a $5 a month fee after the first month. Somebody actually left a comment and they did the math, and basically, you know, you'd have to put a considerable amount of money in uninvested cash into the Robinhood exchange just to reap the benefits, to exceed the $60 annual cost or $55 first year annual cost, because the first month is free, just to get a halfway decent upside ROI, return on investment, on this. When I think of building wealth, increasing my net worth, getting rich, a high yield savings account is the furthest thing from my mind. That's all I can say. If you want to know what to invest in and what I invest in, what we invest in, we were just having this conversation yesterday. Feel free, contact me, reach out. I'm sure Graham got it worked out, but at the end of the day, his money was tied up on this exchange. where there was a gatekeeper that decided yay or nay, like was that Gladiator, on whether or not he could have his money or not. And I'm not okay with that. So again, folks, diversity, security, and cash flow. Now, obviously, Graham had tons of diversity where he probably only had 5% of his portfolio in that exchange, which was a substantial amount of money for him, but still 5% overall. And he's continuously producing cash flow, so I'm sure that that's not an issue as well. The security was the concern in this instance with Robinhood, as they, in my opinion, would make me feel unsecure about my investment in that brokerage. So when I see an instance like Blackstone, especially after having this experience with my CPA on the phone about the IRS withholding my money and having to, resubmit my amended return to get my money after having updated my address and my banking account and routing number for direct deposit for ECH or ACH transfer. When I see a story like what Bupe sent me about Blackstone blocking investors from cashing out and withdrawing their funds of billions and billions and billions of dollars, that's alarming. That's concerning, folks. Be careful out there, folks. There's some crazy stuff going on. There's a lot happening. Not just here in the United States of America, but all around the world, different countries. And at the end of the day, it comes down to the epicenter of dollars, money, finance, economy, people's livelihood. I don't want to see you guys wind up in a situation where you're locked out of an account and unable to access your funds. Okay, so remember, diversity, security, and cash flow. And most importantly, as we are moving towards this digital age, making sure you have a cold storage wallet solution. I have chosen to go with the Ledger Nano X. I've put a link in the description down below. And make sure you keep up with your crypto keys as well, because that is what is most important for you having ownership of your tokens and ultimately your money. Until next time, folks, you guys take care. Be safe. I'll see you real soon.